Hey guys, Garrett back for Sableye the Mind Sculptor, and today we have a Commander deck, which is, I think, the first time I've done this on my channel, so this should be interesting. This is a deck centralizing on 3 different rares from Kamigawa. Before you run away screaming, I swear I didn't choose weird trolley ones. These are good cards from Kamigawa. I know it's a weird concept, but just bear with me. So we have Endless Swarm, which is for 8 mana, put a 1/1 green snake creature token into play for each card in your hand. Enduring Ideal, which is for 7 mana, search your library for an enchantment card and put it into play, then shuffle your library. And Eternal Dominion, which is for 10 mana, search target player's library for an artifact, creature, enchantment, or land card, put that card into play under your control, then that player shuffles his or her library. And while these may all seem underpowered from that description, they each have a keyword, Epic, which says for the rest of the game you can't play spells. At the beginning of each of your upkeeps, copy this spell, except for its epic ability. You may choose a new target for the copy. So, basically, you don't get to play spells for the rest of the game, but you do get to play this spell over and over again. So, that really does help bring up the power level on those cards. So, how are we going to get those? You may have noticed they all cost about 1,000,000 mana. Well, not to fear, I have 46 ramp cards in this deck. I have them at all mana costs, one of them is even a land. So you will be getting to ramp quite a bit in this deck. 46 times, in fact, if you really wanted to. So, moving on, we also have 8 tutors to make sure we get them out. One of them is Dizzy Spell, which is a 1 mana transmute tutor, which you use to find your other tutors. Other than that, we have Intuition, which is my favorite of the tutors. You get to search your library for 3 cards and reveal them. Target opponent chooses 1, put that card in your hand, and the rest into your graveyard, then shuffle your library. So basically, you show them the 3 epic spells, and they get to choose which one you use to kill them. Other than that, we have Long-Term Plans, which is a bit iffy, I'll give it to you. Mangara's Tome, which I have a package of 2 cantrips for, so that you get to draw the one you need. Mystical Tutor, which lets you search your library for an instant or sorcery and put it on top. Personal Tutor, which lets you search your library for a sorcery and put it on top. Planar Portal, which is 6 mana and then 6 to search your library for a card and put it into your hand. And Ring of 3 Wishes, which is 5 and has 3 wish counters on it. You can remove a wish counter and pay 5 to search your library for a card and put it into your hand. So, now that you know our tutor package, how do we win the game once we have Eternal Dominion? Not Eternal Dominion, Enduring Ideal. Because Endless Swarm and Eternal Dominion both make sense. Endless Swarm, you just let the snakes stack and eventually you win. Eternal Dominion, you just find the opponent with the Blightsteel Colossus and then you win. Enduring Ideal is a little bit harder to understand. So, what combo did I put together to make Eternal Dominion work? So, the first card is Wheel of Sun and Moon, which says enchant player. If a card would be put into enchanted player's graveyard from anywhere, instead that card is revealed and put on the bottom of that player's library. So this will keep cards from ever going into our graveyard, and it has the side benefit of making sure that we never mill out. Next, we have Energy Field. Prevent all damage to you from sources you do not control. When a card is put into your graveyard, sacrifice Energy Field. So I think you guys can figure out what's going to happen. Energy Field's going to come down, and we're never going to be dealt damage, because Wheel of Sun and Moon will keep cards from ever going in our graveyard. The other huge upside of this is that we'll never mill out. So we can just sit there and our opponent will mill out. This might seem iffy. If they remove the Wheel of Sun and Moon, you're just not going to be able to win, right? However, there is a way to keep them safe. Greater Auramancy. Other enchantments you control have Shroud. Enchanted creatures you control have Shroud. So this is going to make it so that our enchantments can't be targeted. And then lastly, we have Dovescape, which is an enchantment that says whenever a player plays a non-creature spell, counter that spell. That player puts X 1/1 white and blue bird creature tokens with flying into play. So once you've got that whole package down, it'll basically keep you safe from everything except for creatures that have an enchantment-based wrath. So very rare that you're going to run into anything that does that. But if you do run into a way that they can alternately win, they can make you lose life, they can mill you out with a creature or something. Or, not mill you out, that doesn't work, but they can mill out your library with the new Emrakul, for instance, because they can just exile the top 20 cards 5 times and you'll lose. We have Grasp of Fate, which lets you exile a creature from each of your opponents. So, now that we have that out of the way, am I really just going to tell you guys to go and win by milling them out? No, that is extremely boring. It'll take you like 80 turns to do. I would never suggest anybody do that. Instead, you're going to be using this card, Divine Intervention. 6 white, enters the battlefield with 2 intervention counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove an intervention counter from Divine Intervention, and when you remove the last intervention counter from Divine Intervention, the game is a draw. So, drawing the game, it might not seem like a win at first, but if you think about it, you won. Everyone's going to give it to you that's technically a draw, but you basically won. I just think this card's funny more than anything else. I wanted to build a deck with this in it, and I realized it worked in this deck, so yeah, there it is. Who's the commander for this deck? I didn't call that out earlier because it's not really important, but it is Angus Mackenzie, so you can use him to help stall out the game if you can't find your win conditions. But he's not really important to the deck. And so if you wanted to make this deck spikier, you wanted to actually win, I would suggest bridging into 4 colors using either the partners or the 4-color commander that has no black in it to add Form of the Dragon to your deck. That would help you win much faster. Other than that, I hope you like the deck. Please leave comments for what you love to do in Commander, and peace out.